I want to be able to understand my patients. I want to be able to speak to them. And ultimately, indirectly, this is good for my business as well. As I said, helping my kids with their homework, they're knowing that their dad is actually trying to learn Chinese too.
Hey, what's up, guys? Today we have a super special guest here. We have David here.
Hi.
Yeah, and David is a student of the Cantonese and Mandarin Blueprint, and today we're going to ask him a couple questions about his experience. And I want to start, David, can you introduce yourself in Mandarin? 你可以先介绍一下你自己。
当然可以。你好，我是 David，我住在墨尔本，我是在香港出生的。我3岁的时候跟父母从香港移民到澳洲。
那你的工作是什么？
我的工作是外科医生。
哦，了解，外科医生。OK， 你是什么类型的医生？
我的专业是肠癌手术。
那就是很多人学中文有不同的理由，那你当初为什么想学中文呢？是因为就是你的工作的原因吗？
对，我的工作现在很重要。我上大学的时候我以前尝试过学中文，我报名了一个中文文凭但是因为课程是比较适合白种人我有点不舒服，所以很快忘记了我学的中文。
了解。那是什么就是促使你就是突然间想说，就是我想就是提高我的中文水平，我想学中文？
以前我在政府医院做工的时候，如果有中文的病人，我可以使用中文翻译，所以我不需要说普通话。
所以那在你的工作里面，你是可以靠翻译的。
对，以前可以用翻译，所以我很放心但是现在我开始帮私人病人看病的时候，我没有那个选择。我记得有一次我要叫病人带会说英文的亲戚再来看病我觉得非常尴尬的。
所以就是你要叫他那个病人的亲戚就是过来帮他翻译是吗？
但是他那天不在所以我要再来看一下，所以不舒服的感觉。
当你说不舒服的感觉是什么意思？
我觉得如果我可以用普通话问他的基本的症状，病人会很舒服，但是我不明白他说的话，所以有点不舒服的感觉。
了解。那我想问一下，就是这种情况，就是让病人的亲戚帮你翻译，会不会有时候让事情变得更复杂？比如你会不会担心他们翻译的不对？
对，翻译不对，可能如果我可以自己问他自己明白病人就比较好。
了解。那我想问一下，就是以前当你就是不会讲普通话的时候，跟病人建立信任会不会有一些难度？
如果我听得懂他马上会很舒服，会相信我给他的建议。对，我靠其他的家庭医生的 referral所以病人会跟他的家庭医生说林医生他会说华语，所以我的 referrals更多。Cantonese and Mandarin 的课程对我的工作很有帮助。
那以前会不会就是因为就是没有那个中文的能力，会不会就是错过了一些机会之类的？
可能有了。病人大部分的时候会明白如果我不会说普通话但是对我最重要是我自己的感受，我觉得我是一个失败的。
你可以这个解释一下吗？就是当你说我觉得自己是一个失败者是什么意思？
因为我有某人的根，我应该会说华语。我父母强迫我说广东话，所以我应该有的能力说华语，所以我觉得失败。
那我想问一下，就是你在澳洲长大的，为什么 中文学中文对你来说是这么重要呢？
我觉得很重要。我老婆是马来西亚人，她说华语。现在长大了，我有两个孩子，两个孩子都在学校上中文课。我家人全部人都说华语，但是我自己不能说，所以我对我的中国更觉得很重要。我觉得我孩子了解中国的文化是很重要的。
哦哦，然后现在你要让孩子学中文啊？
他们在学校学，但是我可以，我觉得因为我学 Cantonese and Mandarin 的 course 我可以帮他们的功课。
哦，你是吗？
哼。
那蛮好哎，蛮好哎。那你现在就是能讲中文以后会不会就是对这个家庭关系有帮助吗？
对对，我妻子的父母是说普通话，所以我去马来西亚的话，可以用我学的中文跟他说。很
啊，
开心。
那他们听到你讲中文的时候，他们会不会有什么反应呢？就是他们知道，就是你以前不会
他有点惊讶，因为他认识我的时候，我只能说英文。所以他感恩我努力学华语。
那你的妻子呢？她很开心吗？
啊我妻子她都给我鼓励的。我们一起的时候，我们会用普通话
交流
也这样对。
啊，nice，that's awesome，that's awesome。最后一个问题，我想问一下，就是你在来 Cantonese and Mandarin 之前，你会不会讲普通话，或者你的普通话是什么水平呢？
因为我已经可以说一些广东话，有些中文的单个词我可以明白，但是我珠子放在一起我觉得很困难。所以学 Cantonese Mandarin 的时候，我可以
完全的句子。
putting together。对对。
I guess so. Now we'll switch to English for a bit, just to means people who don't speak Mandarin who want to watch too. I guess was there anything that kind of scared you about our program or hesitations you had before joining?
Yeah, yeah. So certainly, I mean, when I went into it, I was a little bit concerned about, how much time you need to put in to do kind of preparation and homework. I guess as a surgeon, I'm pretty time poor. Probably about a month into the course, I had a really busy patch at work, and I probably didn't have enough time to dedicate, and I probably, stagnated a little bit. I think what I've learned over the time is it is about how much you put into it as well. But certainly the biggest part that I had concern was actually doing the Chinese characters. Because I know how to speak Cantonese, but I don't know how to read and write. And I thought that would be really challenging, but I think has been actually a lot easier than what I had anticipated.
Oh, I see. Like the tools that we kind of like those
Yeah,
different
they've been
tools.
really helpful. It's actually been, not as hard as I thought it would be.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lot
I mean,
easier than doing the writing thing, right?
yeah, I've never done it before, but I think it's not as bad and doesn't take as long as I thought it.
Yeah. Were there any other kind of hesitations you had before joining?
Again, I didn't necessarily know how the one-on-one practice sessions would work. But, I felt right at home, and, we've got along very well. She's always very patient with me. And also, quick to correct, but in a very, very constructive way. So I think that's been helpful. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And I guess like you mentioned, like kind of your hesitations before joining were time and also like would I actually be able to do this? I guess what was that kind of in the end made you kind of pull the trigger and say, you know what, like I want to go for it.
Yeah, so I think overall, even though I did have my reservations, I think it was really important for myself. And I think it's also, for me, I think what was helpful was that I have a goal. Like, I really want to improve my Chinese because I want to be able to understand my patients. I want to be able to speak to them. And this is good for my practice. And ultimately, indirectly, this is good for my business as well. So I think that was the main kind of driver for me is really, having a goal to work for, and having the course as a really important and a vital step to me achieving my goals.
So working with our coaches, I guess, was there like a particular moment or interaction that kind of stood out to you?
No, there hasn't been one particular moment, but I think overall what has been really helpful for me is that there are certain things that I didn't realize that we speak in Cantonese that when you directly translate the words, they don't really make sense. So it was those kind of moments like, you can't say it like that. And those kind of things, I feel like you can't really get from a textbook.
Yeah.
You have to actually kind of say it to say, oh, no, we don't say it like that in Chinese. We say it like this. I'm like, oh, okay. No one ever told me that. So those things, those kind of moments have been really useful for me. And they happen a few times every session.
Gotcha. Because I mean, I guess so you said you did it in college.
Yeah, so I was at university and I tried enrolling in a diploma. That was a long time. So that was when I was around 20, and I'm now 40. So that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But it was not catered for people who had Chinese background per se. The focus and the way they taught was not particularly helpful for me, I found. Whereas I think leveraging Cantonese, which I have already, has been much more helpful.
How do you feel like that helped you understand things like more faster, I guess, versus like the Australian?
The main thing is for me is understanding sentence structure. I think it's been really valuable. Like I don't have to learn a new sentence structure because I can just think about it like Cantonese and then go that way. And then there's a lot of words, obviously, that that sound actually quite similar. And once you kind of know what the Mandarin word is, it's a lot easier to remember because obviously I have that Cantonese background.
Oh, I see. And then how'd you find us?
Good question. So I was looking into kind of some courses, like some online and courses. In my spare time, I occasionally would watch some YouTube, and I saw those Cantonese Mandarin YouTube videos. I thought that's interesting. The appeal really is I really don't think there's any other programs out there that really cater specifically to Cantonese speakers. So I think that's been really helpful for me.
Gotcha. Okay. I guess out of curiosity, was it common beforehand in the past where like patients would like see like a Chinese doctor name and they just kind of like assume you spoke Chinese and then they...
Yeah, that's right. So my surname is Lam, and that's a very Cantonese
Last name.
kind of spelling of my name. Yeah, so I think most people would just assume, I think that I have some form of Chinese background. And I guess a lot of patients would assume that if someone has, even though they're from Hong Kong, that they might speak some Mandarin too. And this goes with the GPs as well, our family doctors who refer to us. In Australia, we have a system where we as specialists get referrals only from GPs. And the GPs would also assume that I can speak Mandarin. But yeah, before, I mean, when I first started out in private practice, I would be, really scared when an actually Mandarin speaking patient came because, but now I'm not so scared. Yeah.
That's good to hear. I mean, we heard you speak. I guess we kind of heard what your results have been like, I guess. So you are 外科医生. What's the specific name of your medicine?
So it's called what we call a colorectal surgeon.
Colorectal surgeon.
Yeah. So we deal with the bowels and I guess for the backside and stuff as well.
肛肠科医生，肛肠科医生。Oh, okay. Colorectal. I never even heard that before. I've actually gotten a colonoscopy before.
Yeah. So we do a lot of colonoscopies. We do surgery for bowel cancer. We do surgery for hemorrhoids, like those kind of things. Yeah.
Gotcha. I see. Okay. I mean, that's a very specific one. Have you had like the customized like course and training?
Yeah. So we're starting that. So that's what I'm saying. So in terms of our one-on-one conversations, we're now starting to talk more specifically about medical topics. I've given her some patient scenarios that we can work through.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because I saw it on the our list of like tasks of the team.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So it's awesome. Yeah. Okay. How do you feel like that? Like, I guess more specific training is helpful for you.
Oh, yes, really specific. Like, so when I go, and I have those one-on-one kind of lessons, I can ask her specific things. Like, for example, I saw a patient last week, and I really wanted to say this particular thing. How do I say that? And then I can just get it, then and there. So then it reinforces things, because a lot of the patients that I see, I ask very similar things, and the procedures I do are very similar. So once you know how to speak through those things and speak fluently, then it's very easy. I still think that the things that, everyday conversation, those things are very important, because when you first speak to a patient, you don't just kind of straight ask them, how's your hemorrhoids, or, that kind of thing. You ask them about their family, their work, and their living situation. And so those things, the first part of the course was really helpful for that too.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear. I guess for you, like once you started the actual course itself, I guess, was there ever a certain like aha moment that kind of stood out to you?
There were things that I was saying wrong, really simple things that I was saying wrong, and it was corrected. It was very enlightening, because then you start seeing it like correctly, and then you start seeing it everywhere. You start listening to it in songs, you start seeing it like, you start hearing it in conversations, and then it's really good, because it means like, that how come I never heard people saying it like that before, because I was obviously saying it wrong.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Has it helped with your Cantonese as well?
Yeah, definitely. In terms of the vocabulary, because obviously, I mean, I would say I'm a reasonable Cantonese speaker, but I came to Australia when I was 3.
Okay.
The only reason why I speak Cantonese is because my parents forced me to. I mean, I watched a little bit of TVB growing up and that kind of thing, but apart from that, I really have no other exposure. So my vocabulary itself is quite limited. So a lot of the words now that I learn when we have those breakdown of the conversations. Oh yeah, actually, I don't use this word in everyday life, but I do remember in the back of my mind, that this word exists. So it really does help as well, especially with the vocabulary. Yeah.
Yeah, I find just like when you learn a word in Mandarin, just learn the same word in Cantonese and like double.
Yeah, that's right.
Looking back on everything now, I guess, how do you feel about your Mandarin now compared to when you started?
Yeah, so certainly it's really been helpful in helping me achieve my goals, which is kind of, to speak, in a work setting. I think it's been really helpful. I realize there's a lot, more to go, but at the same time, I feel confident that using these skills, then I can develop them even more.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about building confidence as well. So now that I'm a little bit more confident, I would be more likely to use them in certain situations. Like I might try to, like in a Chinese restaurant, I might order in Chinese, or I might, when I go to the supermarket, person asks me a question, I can actually answer them in Chinese as opposed to nod, right? So it's just those little things and I think they will just build more and more.
I see. I guess on that note then, I mean, given that you're now able to, you mentioned like speak it at the stores, the restaurants, with your kids, with your wife's family, with your patients. I guess for you, like what's been the most rewarding part of the journey?
Yeah, so I think a combination of, outside of work, I thought, obviously my goal is work, but at the same time, I think, it's been really valuable that, I can, sometimes I start like texting my wife in Chinese, like, and she'll be like, oh, okay. Or like, so, as I said, helping my kids with their homework, they're knowing that their dad, is actually trying to learn Chinese too, and can kind of correct them on their tones and that kind of thing. I think that's been really helpful, I guess, and it adds a dimension, I guess, to our family life as well. To to now have Chinese as part of our family, and this is what we do, and this is how we can all improve together. So I think that's been really rewarding.
I think it's funny you mention that, because I think one of the hardest things that I think like everyone thinks about, especially second generation Chinese people, is like, how do we pass on the language to our kids? How do you inspire them? Because like if our Chinese sucks, their Chinese is gonna be even worse.
Yeah, and I think one of the things is that in our culture and where we stand in Australia, I think it's probably more important that they learn Mandarin rather than learning Cantonese. So therefore, if they're going to be learning Mandarin, then I have to be at least passable at it as well. I don't want to be in a situation where they can speak better than I can.
Yeah. Why do you not want that situation to happen? Like, how would that make you feel if it were to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about like it's about setting an example, and it's also about having a connection. When we go to Malaysia and visit my in-laws, obviously they're in a very Chinese speaking part of Malaysia, and we're going to go to holidays to China together and that kind of thing. So yeah, that'd be really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I mean, China's a cool place to travel. I think it'll be fun for you
Yeah.
guys. Cool. Last question, I guess. Someone's been kind of sitting on the fence, kind of stay in place. I want to learn, but they haven't really done anything about it. I guess any message to them?
Yes, I say really, I really highly recommend this course. I think I found it really rewarding, and more so than I expected, actually. I think, as I said before, it is a little bit kind of what you put into it. But if you're willing to kind of have the mindset that you want to improve, and I think you've got a goal in mind, then I think it's really, really helpful. I think the coursework is fantastic. The lessons are also really valuable, and I think the way that the course is set up, I think is a really good balance between speaking and listening, and also improving your kind of reading as well. It's a fantastic course, and I highly recommend it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I've had a very, very good time.
Appreciate you so much, man. That means a lot. I mean, I made this specifically because this is what I wish I had when I was trying to learn the language. So
Yeah.
it means a lot that it was helpful for you.